right. Well, welcome back to another episode of Focus Target presents Smiley's Retro Gaming Corner. If you were with us before, we had a little bit of a false start, so sorry about that. But today we're going to be diving deep into some layers upon layers of gaming. We're going to start with a game called Final Fantasy II, which was released for the Super Nintendo back in the early 90s. I think I got that cartridge that I just held up back in 1992 for Christmas. A very memorable Christmas for me. That's actually Final Fantasy IV in Japan, as many of you already probably know. And a really cool website went out and created an awesome randomizer that really breathes some new life into Final Fantasy IV. For someone like me who's played it a million times over and over again. It's called Final Fantasy Free Enterprise. So if you were to go to the website FF4FE.com, you can learn all about it. It basically takes all of the attributes from the original Final Fantasy IV games and shuffles them all around in a lot of different ways that you could actually control. To kind of give you a unique and fresh experience when you're playing it. Yeah, they've got a great community. They've got a Discord. They do races. They do tournaments. They do all kinds of cool stuff with it. It's very enjoyable. It's been a lot of fun to play, and it's been a lot of fun to, it's something I've enjoyed with my son. We race each other when we play it. It really has given me a lot more of a reason to play a game that I already love and have spent countless hours with. But of course, for me, I just can't get enough of games of all sizes and shapes, and so even playing a game, sometimes I want to make a game out of the game. And so lately, my wife and I have been watching a lot of Deal or No Deal, and there's a specific aspect of the Final Fantasy IV randomization that they do with Free Enterprise that actually leads itself to kind of a Deal or No Deal kind of situation, which I took upon myself to create. So I'm going to remove our intro tab here to kind of show you what I'm working with. So on the right, we've got our Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise post randomization. If you want to learn all about how the randomizer works, all the possible flags and different things you can tinker with, I definitely invite you to go to the website and check it out. They've got a lot of cool documentation there that really explains everything. I could spend an hour just talking through how it all works. But we'll go through. I'm going to start a new game here with completely randomized objectives, and I'll kind of walk through as I'm doing it, and so you'll kind of get an idea what that's all about. But over here on the left side of the screen is where I've taken the Deal or No Deal aspect and kind of run with it. So each game, when the bosses in the game, all the different bosses you can face, which are listed here in these two columns, are shuffled up by the randomizer. But because of the way the game works, one of the boss fights was actually removed. So there's a fight, for anyone who's played the game who might remember, you fight the water hag with Edward by himself in the town of Kaipo pretty early on. And it's kind of just a scripted battle that is really just to move the story along. But they kept that water hag in there as a boss and included it in the randomization. However, the boss fight itself is not something that you can actually partake in this randomizer version. That event has been taken out. Most of the events have been either streamlined or removed to make it a little bit more replayable. So what that means, the upshot of that, is that each time you play through the randomizer, each game, one of the bosses is randomly left out. There's one boss that you can't fight. And so, to me, like, I kind of took that idea and decided to run with it by making a wager, essentially, before going into each game, having not played anything. I try to predict which of the bosses I think will be the one that's left out. And I use a power ranking, as is listed here, from the most valuable. So my ultimate pick in this case is the Octomam boss, is the one I'm hoping that we won't run into. All the way down in descending order down to the King and Queen of Eblen, who is my lowest, is the one that I'm most certain will be in the game. Now, it's completely random which one it is. I don't really have an idea, but I did, I have done this multiple times. This is actually will be my 15th run of Final Fantasy Free Enterprise doing this kind of weird Deal or No Deal type of flag. And I've got some data on the monsters who have shown up to be the essentially the winning case, or the most expensive case, the one not included in the game. And so the King and Queen of Evelyn have actually shown up 3 times out of 13 completed runs. I'm still in the middle of this one, but I wanted to start a fresh one this time. So I do have a little bit of a method behind my madness, but ultimately it's just kind of a guessing game. And so what I'll do is I'll go through and play the game normally with an intention of uh, identifying every boss. I don't have to kill the boss. I just have to positively identify the boss for it to count. As I do, I will remove the bosses as I find them from this list, which will lower or perhaps raise the average value of what I can get. Using a complex calculation of my own creation that I tried to use to mimic the offers that you get in Deal or No Deal, if you're familiar with that particular game show. After I defeat the first 15 bosses, I'll be given an offer, and I'll have to choose whether I want to take the deal that's offered or continue going all the way to the end. If I get all the way to the end, then the final boss, the boss that's not in the game, as chosen by the randomizer, will be the value that I end with if I choose not to take a deal. So that's basically how it works. I don't expect anybody to find this at all interesting, other than myself, but you never know. So I figured, I was going to start a new one this week. They just made a little update to the randomizer, added some new flags, added some new features that I wanted to try out, and I figured I'd bring you guys along for the ride. So I do have a full kind of tracker that I use to track my progress through the randomizer. Unfortunately, I don't really have a place on my screen to show that. It's kind of busy between the Deal or No Deal aspects and the actual gameplay. So unfortunately, I won't be showing that. So if I'm working off camera a little bit as we go, that's what's going on. But let's get started. Enough jibber jabber from me. Let's get into the meat of things, and that is Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. What is going on? Is my there we go. So I'm going to customize my color a little bit. I'm going to make this. I'm going to go with a little bit of a green background today since it's St. Patrick's Day. Hence my wearing green. This is a little hoodie that my wife bought me, celebrating my alma mater of Colorado State. So figure I throw out that. All right, and so in this particular flag, there's a couple things that you need to know about Free Enterprise just at a high level. So everything's kind of shuffled about and randomized. The characters that you get, the bosses that you fight, the key items. The key items primarily act as gatekeepers to content in the game. So you're trying to basically find the key items that you need to progress and unlock different areas. You need the crystal, a key item, in order to fight the final boss, and you need either the pass, which will warp you directly to the final boss, or the dark crystal, which will unlock the way to the final boss's final area in order to challenge the final boss. So those are the very high level things that you need to do. In this particular version, I've given myself 3 random objectives that the randomizer picked for me. If I can complete all the objectives, I'll be awarded the crystal, which will allow me to at least fight the final boss, assuming I can find a way to challenge him. So I need to complete Cave Magnez. I need to break the Dark Elf's spell with the Twin Harp, which is also in Cave Magnez. So those 1 and 2 will be completed together. Basically, they can't not be. So that's kind of weird. And then have Kokol forge the legend sword with the adamant. So I need to get 2 key items, the legend and the adamant, forge them together at the blacksmith Kokol, and that will allow me to gain the crystal. Now, in this particular playthrough, a lot of times people do speed runs or races trying to get through this as quickly as they can. In this particular run, I'm more interested in challenging all the bosses so I can, check off all these boxes and see which is the one that's not included in the game. So I'm not going to be going too fast. I'll probably complete basically any objective that would have come up over time. But just, I put these 3 in just to kind of give me a little bit of a guidance on my way to the crystal. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and start a new game. So I'm starting with Cecil, who is the main character of the game, who you naturally start with. And we'll see who we get. So here comes Cecil down the way. Looks like I'm going to start with the boy Palom, which is great. So we can see here, this is a great example of how this is going to work. So this is one of the bosses that was randomized. This little star thing kind of signifies one of the 5 like mini bosses on the moon at the end of the game. They're signified on this screen over here by this guy here, the pale dim, the evil eye, whose name I forget, the plague. I'm sorry, that's the plague. You got these guys with which are the I forget their name too, the dark fossils or something, and then you've got the Ogopogo and the wyvern. So this particular fellow over here is one of those 5. Since we can't know which one until we fight him, we can't positively identify him, so we won't be taking anything off the board here. Had he been a different icon that we could have identified, for example, if it had been the bomb, which there's only one clear indication, we would have gone ahead and checked that off, and that one would have been off the board. But we can't figure out which it is just from this. So okay, we received a random item. It was the white body piece, which is actually the best body piece in the game for the healer classes. So that's nice, but not a key item. And now we'll start with some random supplies. We got some wizard's gear, so that'll be nice for, again, that's more for white mages, but Balam can use that. We've got a dwarf axe, an elixir, a strength ring, and we got a ninja sword and a drain spear. And then we got some basic materials, lives, cure 2, star veils, and tents. So that's actually a pretty decent mix of starting things. And now we will roll. So in free enterprise, you're actually given the airship right from the beginning of the game to let you go pretty much anywhere you can go that's unlocked. And so at the beginning, we'll have a lot of different options of what we can do. We'll want to check a couple places. There's some free stuff we can pick up. In this particular seat, I have it set to not give out the free characters, but there are some free items we can get. We're also kind of playing. Okay, so this guy's just gonna tell us what the objectives are. We already saw that from the beginning. Cool. Thank you, Mr. Dude. He's just kind of recapping what we have to do. So this game as well, we're playing with a kind of a silly flag on as well, which is the push B to jump flag. So in this one, it gives you the ability to push the B button to jump around and actually jump over things, which is great for getting around and also can get you into get you access to some places you're not supposed to have access to when you start. So I'm just going to kind of roll through here, pick up some of the easy treasures to pick up, to kind of see if I can get some loot. We're going to pop into the inn and see if we can check somebody off our list, because there are some battles here. Oh, okay. So we're just going to take these items here. Now here again, we've got this is normally a boss, and I mean it is a boss, but we're not able to take anything from that. So again, now we have 2 of the 5 final area bosses are are identified, but we don't know which they are. So until we fight them, we won't be able to do anything with that. We've got Fusoya up here, who's a very powerful party member. He would be a great addition to my team, but I don't quite think I'm ready. I think if I tried to challenge this boss here, I would be defeated. So we're not quite ready for that. So we're going to go ahead and leave this area. But now at least we know what we're dealing with there. I like to come over to the item shop as well, kind of see what's being sold. The item contents are randomized. So you can see we have AG apples, which can increase max HP, Soma drops, which can increase max MP, and Cure 1, which is the weakest cure item, are just kind of randomly here. So we have some of the most expensive and probably the cheapest items in the same shop. And the weapon and armor shop is locked until you get the Baron key, which is one of the key items you need, and we obviously don't have that yet. I'm going to do a little hop here to jump into the river and grab some hidden treasure chests. Got some gold and some cure 2. And then we're going to hop over here to this little back area here and pick up a couple more treasure chests. A poison claw, some gold, and an ice brand sword. So, alright, that's cool. We're going to run over here to this little chocobo forest as well. Each chocobo forest has a treasure in the middle. We got 100 gold from that one. So we're going to kind of probably hit each of those and see what we can find. Early on, getting a nice little smattering of gear is helpful. You never know what kind of goodies you'll get. That'll help. We're going to have to try to get through a couple early boss fights to improve our roster here. So we're going to go to Redia's house here, and there's a couple treasures hidden in the back room. Those were just some... sorry if I'm going a little bit too fast. We had a vampire and a silk web, which are items that can be used in battle. A shuriken, which could be thrown by Edge, who is a character that we do not currently have in our party. We got here another strength ring. I think it's the third strength ring, which is an okay item. Defense, that's a powerful sword. Nobody in my party can equip it yet, but that will change at some point. Armor shop. Oh, okay, so adamant armors are the best armor in the game, so good to know that those are here. Obviously 5 million gold, or I'm sorry, 500,000 gold is a little bit out of our price range, but we will note that. In fact, I'm going to note it on my document here that adamant armors are in that shop, because I will likely want to come back later in the game and pick up a couple of those. Weapon shop has the white spear. That's a good spear for Kane, should we find him. Not much else here of interest to us. Gotta be very careful jumping here. If you jump over the exit spot here, it'll actually glitch your game and you'll get stuck and will be forced to hard reset. So I've learned that to my peril on a number of occasions. Or I should say not to my peril, but to my disappointment. So again, we're just going to... taking it slow here. Got a life staff. That's all right. It's an item that I can use in battle to bring someone back to life, which is a nice emergency item. Although, if I remember correctly, I'm gonna sort my inventory. I think I got 13 life potions, so I doubt I'll need the life staff. I'm gonna hit up this chocobo forest here. Yeah, let's see what we got. Ashura, the summon. So Ashura is a very useful summon, but we need Redia in order to utilize it. So hopefully we'll see her at some point. Next place we're going to go is the fallen city of Damcien. We could go around the outside, but I like to jump the wall just to save a little time. There's a little secret room up here that's got some goodies in it for us. Let's see here. AU apple, an archer, and another strength ring. Good lord. AU apple, as I said, increases max HP. So actually, I'm going to use that right away. Early on, that pays more dividends. So I'm going to go ahead and use the gold apple on Palom, give him an extra 100 HP, because right now that doubles his HP. A boomerang, a black belt, a samurai glove, 50 gold, a Gaia drum, an exit, a black armor, a drain sword, and 50 GB. We'll get through. We're going to basically collect a bunch of stuff, and then we'll equip our guys out with the best that they can have. And we're going to go over the wall again. Whoop. That Gaia drum is really nice. That casts Quake on all enemies. That can be a powerful tool early on in the game when you're trying to fight some of these early bosses. There's Anna. So normally there's a whole cutscene here, but again, things have been streamlined to just kind of get you through it quickly. Pretty much all the dialogue's been taken out, or at least most of it, to kind of give a quicker pacing through the game. All right, so that's a pretty decent start. We'll see. I wonder if we can take this. I guess it'll depend who's here. We don't really have anything in the way of good spells. We probably need to do a fight or two first. So let's see. So let's equip our guys with some stuff. I did not get any good rods for him. You can have the wizard helmet and probably the wizard body. The rune. Oh, geez, I got 10 rune armlets? That's all right. That's a little excessive, but okay, so that's good for him. Cecil, Dark Knight Cecil can't really equip anything except gear specifically for him. The only piece of gear we got he can equip is the black body piece, so that'll help him a little bit. I'm going to go... Where am I going to go? I'm going to go in here. get a couple more items while we're out. So I'm going to save here. And I'm going to take Pollen out of the front row. We're going to see if we can get just a couple of us. So right now the encounters are set to be off automatically. We're going to turn the encounters back on. We're going to see if we can get a couple quick battles. Ooh, a Dragoon helmet. That'll be useful later. A Lunar Staff. Whoop. Jump through here. See what we get in this place. Another Rune Armlet. Now we have 11. And a Coffin, which casts instantly. We can instantly kill an enemy, which can be useful from time to time. Oh, a crystal handpiece. That's nice. A crystal ring. That is a good piece. Great defense. So you can actually. This is a little bonus feature that they added for free enterprise. They give you a little blurb of who can equip things, what they give, their stats and bonuses, and their defense and magic defense ratings. That's and evasion and magic evasion. Crystal ring is a fantastic ring. That +5 agility is really cool as well. So we will pop that on there and call that good. And okay, here's our first encounter. So we're gonna try to rely on Pollen to get us through this, and Cecil to tank the hits. Hopefully, nicely done, Pollen. All right. So another cool thing about the free enterprise build is that your EXP is fully given out to everybody in the party, unlike the original game where it's split. So regardless of how many party members you have, everybody gets the full amount of EXP at the end of each fight. So it makes the leveling process a little bit quicker, which is nice. And Pollen really only needs a couple levels before he starts picking up some nice powerful spells. Fire 2, Ice 2, Lightning 2. So I really only need a couple fights from him to get him in a usable state. This should be interesting. A water bug's pretty tough to kill. We might be able to get him with a well-timed Lightning 1. We'll see. He uses that remedy ability to heal himself up after each time he takes a hit. And after a while, he'll run away. Oh, we got him, though. Nicely work. Nicely work. That's not what I meant to say. All right, so Pollen has learned Ice 2, which will certainly make him a little more potent. And we'll just keep on rolling here. Since we can push B to jump, we can make short work of this area. There's a lot of jumps that we can do to skip unnecessary runarounds. We'll let Pollen just take care of his business. I'd like to get him another level if I could. That way he learns Fire too. Just so he has a couple options depending on who we face in the first boss fight. A Fire Bomb. Fire Bomb. I'm aware that's not how the song goes. Alright, we got another set of pikes here. Luckily, Lightning 1 makes short work of these guys. I have to watch his MP as well, though, because once he runs out, there we go, there's a level up. So, Pollen's got Fire 2 and Ice 2 now. That's good enough for the moment. We're going to turn that off. We're going to align his spells to be the ones that are a little bit more useful. Put some of these ones that I won't ever use again near the bottom where we don't need to see him. Pollen's a great character, very powerful, and he will... Oh, we're out of space. Okay, so I'm going to take the Grimoire. That summons a random summon creature. But now I'm going to have to make some choices here. I'm going to have to drop some of this stuff. I got a little bit too much junk here. And I'm not going to have room for everything. There's an Odin summon. Odin summon I find to be fairly useless. I'll probably just sell that. It's actually worth more to me as the money I'll get from a shop than it is, you know, as a summon. Dragon Whip, also an item that likely will be sold. It's great if you want to turn Redia into an attacker, which is certainly something you can do. There's some other gear that benefits that, but -5 to Wisdom and Will is rough for somebody whose main role is to cast damaging spells, which is the wisdom stat affects that directly. Rune Axe. Rather have that than, let's see, Vampire. Vampire is not a very useful item. A Tiara, that's a great headpiece for any of the female characters in the game. We'll switch that with the Hermes. Not a terrible item, but not one that I use all that frequently. What we got here? We got a Drain Spear and an Hourglass 2. Hourglass 2 can freeze all enemies. That can have its uses, but is there anything I want less? Probably not. We'll just call that good. Okay, and now we're gonna just go ahead and roll right out of here with the exit that we picked up earlier. Carry us out of the dungeon immediately. And so now we need to definitely we need to go to a shop and sell some of this stuff. So we're gonna roll down here to a place called Silvera, I think. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Silvera. And there's a couple more items to get here, but first we gotta make some room. So let's go ahead and see. We're gonna sell that Odin. I don't really want that. Could probably sell at least a couple of these rune items. I mean, get some money. Like, we're not gonna need more than 3 more. Nothing really of note here. Ether 2s are nice, but I'm not going to spend money on that just yet. Let's see, what else can we get rid of here? Drain Spears, not that useful to me. Middle Sword, I can almost certainly do better. Silver Armor. Do I have any other armor? I do not, so I'll keep that Silver Armor. That's actually the best I have right now. The Iron Ring is no good. The Silver Staff is useless. The Boomerang is not that impressive. The Karate I might have kept if I didn't have a Black Belt, but the Black Belt's much better, so I'll get rid of that. Silver Helmet I don't think I'm going to need. I'm going to get rid of that. Flame Staff, or it was a Spear. Dragon, I'm going to go sell that. Keep the Firebomb. I guess we'll keep the Charm in case we get Edward, which seems like we probably will. We always seem to get Edward. We'll get a Drained Sword out of there. I'm not really that fond of that. And let's see. I think the Rune Axe is a lot better than the Dwarven Axe, so we'll go ahead and get rid of the Dwarven Axe. So that should free up quite a bit of room for us. Okay. And now we're gonna check the items here. A whistle, we'll sell that. That's not very helpful. A great bow is not really that great of a bow, as a matter of fact, so we'll get rid of that. And Artemis arrows. Now that is a find. Artemis arrows are the best arrows in the game, and so having 10 of those is nice to have on hand. So we'll keep the Artemis arrows, get rid of the whistle, get rid of the great bow. Got a decent amount of money right now, which is good, 151k. Saving up for that adamant armor. That adamant armor is very potent and definitely worth the price. Weapons, we've got some stuff here. Nothing really of note. The Gungnir is not a terrible spear, but I'd rather have the white spear that we saw in the Town of Mist. Sorcerer's body piece. That's nice. That's a great body piece for a caster. Wisdom and Will +5 gives some resistance. Has good stats. Do I want it enough on? I think I will take one on Palom. Actually, I do not mind that. That's better than the wizard. And we also have a white in the wings, so I'm going to go ahead and sell that wizard body piece. I don't particularly want that. I can sell this archer bow as well, because I forgot we have a samurai bow, which is better. Should we get somebody who uses early on, especially in free enterprise, you're always kind of looking out for keeping items that may be useful. We don't know if we're going to get the characters that can actually use those items. As the game progresses, we'll have a better idea. But right now, I'm trying not to burn any bridges with decent items that may come in handy. Okay, so final step here is, I think actually I'm going to rest. We'll do that in Damcien. There's a free little healing thing up here. I don't know if this is the fastest way. I probably should just go to an inn, which saves some money, or which would cost some money, but would save some time. But nevertheless, we'll roll up here. I wanted to try this for a while. We'll see. Did we just save? I don't think I did, actually. I was going to try hopping over the wall and seeing if sometimes when you hop over a wall, you're not supposed to. It'll actually act like a warp spell and take you back down to the previous floor. But since I haven't saved in a while, I don't want to risk getting myself stuck and losing some progress. Because especially early on here, where we're just, you know, you know, gathering treasures and building some levels. I mean, that's kind of boring work, so I would like to not have to redo that. So, all right, so our next deal is we're going to go up to the top of Mount Hobbs, and we're going to get a character, and we're going to fight a boss. So we'll finally have our first boss to check off the list here, one way or another, and hopefully we'll have a character that is useful to us. Because Cecil, until he gets his Mount Ordeals upgrade, is not that useful. Oh, we got Edge. Okay, that's fabulous. Edge is certainly one of the best characters that we could have hoped for. We're going to have a strong team if we can get Edge and Fusoya. The boss here could be one of two still. It could either be the 2 guards or it can be the officer and 3 soldiers. So we'll see which it turns into. It is the 2 guards. So that is good to know. Go ahead and throw a fire too on these guys. Oh, he turned me into a miniature. Rude. I don't know if he can cast spells while he's miniaturized. I guess we'll find out. So you can also, you maybe have noted, if you've played the original game, these guys look a little bit different. The randomizer uses different color palettes to kind of differentiate some of the characters. Oh, no, don't kill my Polyp. No! Oh, that was messed up. I wanted that EXP. That makes me very sad. But, oh well. What are you going to do? So, all right. We got Edge. That's fantastic. I shouldn't have sold that middle sword after all. That would have been a small upgrade for him. Didn't expect to get him so soon. We can give him the ninja body piece. That's a little bit of a bonus. And I think I'll give him the strength hands. It's not the best defense, but it does boost his damage a little bit. Don't see anything else of use for him. So, okay, so that's good news. I am excited to have Edge. He has I think that's a pretty cool color palette that he's using. I'm going to give this new Gaia headband. Oh, that's a Gaia body piece. Never mind. I don't want that. I thought it was a headpiece. And so now we're just going to roll over here and collect a couple treasures on the east side of the mountain, or I guess the west side of the mountain. Another ruin axe, a diamond shield. That'll come in handy later, potentially. A heroine body piece, and a protect ring. Okay, well, the protect ring, that is fabulous. I'm going to put that here for Mr. Edge. I'll give him some nice survivability. The heroine body piece, that's the one I was actually referenced earlier when I said there was other gear that went along with the dragon whip. That's something you could equip on one of your female characters that makes them a lot more physically powerful. So the dragon whip and the heroine body piece really can actually make Rydia a decent attacker, especially early in the game before she gets a lot of her more powerful magic and summon spells. But alas, we don't have Rydia, and she is still kind of squishy, so even if you put her in the front row, it's a little bit dangerous. So we're going to do this next. We're going to do the Fab Wolf fight. Or are we? What do I want to do? Well, I'm going to go in here regardless. I'm going to sleep at the inn. Get my boys back to full health. I actually wonder. Oh, hello. So this right here, the siren, that is a very useful piece of gear. Or not gear. It's a consumable item actually. But what the siren will do is you can use that on the map anywhere that there are enemies to fight, and it will pull the most rare encounter possible for you to fight instantly. So it's a great way to level up your characters very quickly and very easily. There's especially some places that you can really take advantage of those sirens. So I will be back to purchase some sirens later, I'm certain, but good to know. Not much in here. Samurai bow's nice, but we already have that. Those assassin daggers are actually better than what Edge is using now. I guess I'll take a couple of those. Why not? We got the money for the moment. We'll give him a pair of assassin daggers. That'll boost his damage a little bit. And if there's anything that's vulnerable to instant kill, which most of the bosses we are not, um, he might be able to get some action out of that. In fact, all of the bosses are not in this particular run because I have the no free boss seed on, so all the bosses have to be fought without without being cheesed, more or less. All right, so we didn't. What we did not do. I got so excited by Edge, we didn't take care of our stuff here. So our what we found was that it was the 2 guards. So that's the $50,000 encounter. So we're gonna take that off. So now we're down to 34 bosses remaining. We have 14 more to kill before we get our first offer. 50,000. That's not too bad. I mean, obviously your big ones are the ones you want to keep in play, just like in the Deal or No Deal game. We obviously would like to see these ones on the right side get taken out first. So not a great way to start, but I'm all right with that. That's fine. Next, I think we're gonna maybe try to collect our boy Fusoya here. We're gonna see how this goes. We may not, depending what bosses are here, we may get janked. But we're gonna save here. We got Palom, we got Edge, we got Dark Knight Cecil, who is not very good, but we're going to go in and see what we've got in this battle. So the first fight will be an easier one, even though it's against a tough boss. This first encounter is fairly tame. So we got the Plague, so that's actually good news. He does not have a lot of HP in this particular encounter. He doesn't do any damage. He just tries to inflict you with doom, and you can see Edge made short work of him. Had he been the second encounter here, he would have been a much different story. We probably wouldn't have been able to beat him with this particular setup. So our first, so that was the Plague. So we can check the Plague off now. We know the Plague was there. He's the $6,000 encounter, so that's great news. That was a fantastic encounter to have here. Got a level from Cecil and Palom. He got lightning too, and so now we got to see who we're going to face here. Okay, so that's either Rubicant or the 4 Fiends. This is Rubicant, so this is going to be a little bit tougher, but I think we can get him. He'll counter with fire too. Hopefully it won't hurt us too bad. No, that wasn't too bad. And now as soon as he opens his little thing, I'm going to hit him with an ice too. And that should make pretty short work of him. Oh, no, he's still hanging in there. 1,500 damage, pretty good. Probably attacking with Cecil's not even worth it because he counters with fire too each time. We try to get Palom off with another ice too, and I'll probably use Cecil to use one of these cure 2s on Palom, keep him alive. He's our big damage dealer here. We do not want to lose him. And there we go. Nice. A couple ice 2s took care of business. So, Rubicane was next on the list. Oh, Rubicane, a $250,000 encounter. That is unfortunate. We get the Avenger as a key item. That is a nice. I'm sorry, not a key item, a regular item, but not bad to have. And Fusoya joins our crew. Fusoya is a little bit different insofar as these characters go. So in the main game, when you get Fusoya, you get him very, very late in the game, and he's very powerful. He comes with like 1900 HP and access to every white and black magic spell in the game. In the randomizer, to make it a little bit more interesting, they changed Fusoya's mechanics so that he starts with, I don't know, 500 or 600 HP, something like that. And every time you defeat a boss, I guess we could back into it. He must start with 500 because we defeated 3 bosses. Every time you defeat a boss, he gains 100 HP up to a max of 1900, and he learns 3 random spells in addition to the 3 that he starts with, or maybe the 6 that he starts with. So we can see he's learned already because of the bosses we've killed. Fire 3. He's got Ice 2. That's fantastic. Venom, Sleep, Ice 1, Drain. I never use those. Psych sometimes can have some uses, but Fire 3, that's a great early game spell. To have that so soon is he'll be decimating things. On the white magic side, Sight is useless, Mute is useless, Peep is useless, Cure 1, it's the best he has. Float, I guess that will come in handy later. Slow has its uses from time to time. But all right, so Fusoya, fantastic character to have right now. Very happy to have him aboard. We got Palom, we got Fusoya, we got Sessa, we got Age. This is a crew. Like, this is a good crew right here already. I guess the question is, do I want to go try to collect a fifth party member? With this team, I think I probably could. So I am gonna try. So we're gonna do a little hocus pocus here. Using our push B to jump, we're gonna leap on over this little wall here and kind of cheat our way into the Baron Castle. Usually you need the Baron key to get in here. The problem is these guys are a little bit tougher, so we'll see. We know we have a encounter here with this fellow. Let's see who he is and see if we can handle him. That's the Ogopogo. Okay, that's rough. He's going to hit us with the big wave. That's going to take, I think, about 50% of our life. Looks like it missed Fusoya, so that's nice. But, yeah. I don't know if Fire 3 works on this guy. We'll see if it does. I can't really remember. This might be troublesome. Okay, that's good. Really relying on Fusoya to carry us through this. It doesn't really look that good right now. Oh, just in time. Palom and Fusoya get the job done. Fantastic work to my casters. A couple good levels for that. We can roll up the Ogopogo. Ogopogo was a $3,000 encounter, so another good one to get out. And Fusoya, now, there you go. Hold Cure 4 and heal. He has now become a powerful healer for my team. That is fabulous. So he's got good attack magic and good healing magic. That's all you could ask for this early. Grab a couple chests here. And then we're actually going to just roll right out of here and save. Because I feel like that was a little bit of a lucky encounter. I'm glad that we were able to beat that Ogopogo and that nobody died. So we got full EXP for everybody. The EXP is split. Is not split. Everybody gets 100% EXP, but you do have to be alive in order to get it. So in that regard, you don't want people to die during your boss fights. That's a key thing to keep your guys. Or as you remember early on, we lost Palom during that fight on Mount Hobbs to those guards, so that was kind of lame. All right, so that fight was done. Not too bad. We were able to abuse an early Fire 3 to kind of push through content that otherwise would probably be too dangerous. And so now we're going to go up and fight yet another boss up here. This is the Kinazo slot. We'll see who's actually here. This time we've got the Evil Wall. Okay. So let's go ahead and mark that off. Our Evil Wall is the $400 encounter, so very nice. And now we got to get to work. Well, he didn't really hit Fusoya too hard. I'm not too worried about this guy. I think a couple Fire 3s are going to put him right into his place. And clearly his damage is abysmal. Like, I'm kind of surprised. Usually the Evil Wall hits a little harder than that. Like, you get this sometimes, though. Basically what the game does is it takes the encounters, it shuffles them around, but they're kind of prorated to the relative strength of the enemy whose spot they take in. So this Evil Wall, who's a much later game creature, is prorated down to what the Kinazo fight, who would naturally be in this area of the game, has as far as stats. And sometimes that can make some really wonky stat changes to some of these characters, or some of these bosses. Like, sometimes it makes them a lot harder than you would expect, and sometimes, like in this case, it makes them much easier. I mean, this Evil Wall had no attack, and that's probably because the Kinazo boss doesn't really have much in the way of attack. I don't think he even does regular attacks. He basically uses the big wave attack to knock people out. So Fusoya got Charm, Blink, and Ice 3. That's nice. And we'll get a new character here. Who did we get? We got Kane. Okay, great. Happy to see that. Kane's a solid addition to this crew. And now we have to go through a little bit of storyline here, which still slimmed down from the original, but you know. Has to be gone through. Now here's where you would normally get the airship in the game. Now we don't, obviously we already have the airship, so instead they changed it as they go through the secret wall. Instead of going to dock on the airship, which you already have, they go to find a pot, and in the pot is an item. What could it be? Today we got the ribbon, which is a endgame headpiece. Very nice. And so I will equip that on somebody. Let's see, probably give it to Kane because he is a little bit. Oh, you know, he could have the Dragoon headpiece, so we'll leave that with him. We'll give him the silver armor, which is a small upgrade. Honestly, no, we'll give him the black belt. The black belt's way better. We'll give him the strength ring, I think. Yeah, I think we can deal with that. Samurai has better defense, but I like that 5 strength. And for spear, well, or actually, we're gonna give him the defense sword. That's gonna be the best attack we have for him. For a shield, I think we had a diamond shield. There it is. So he's pretty geared out for starting. I mean, he's only level 10, but he'll do all right. We'll let Edge. Should we let him enjoy that ribbon? Actually, I'm gonna give the ribbon to Fusoya. He's got the ribbon. The nice thing about the ribbon is prevents any status ailments. It also has good defense and magic defense. But that way, if anybody takes a status ailment that needs to be cured, it won't be Fusoya, and he can heal them instead. So I think that'll do. Our next task is going to be to get Dark Knight Cecil powered up. But before we do that, I forgot. So generally, most people play without a free key item. So in the base randomization, you can go to Edward in Terraria and get a free key item. Most people elect to take this flag off, and I as well used to take that off a lot, because if you choose to not receive a free item here, you can instead get one by defeating the Dragon of Mist boss, which will then open up an event that'll let you get a free key item that way instead. This is way cool. I usually like to do that, but because we're doing a deal or no deal type event here, I don't want the Mist Dragon to be a guaranteed encounter. If you take the free key item off, it means the Mist Dragon has to be in the game somewhere, which basically gives you a freebie on the board. So instead, I say I'd rather get a free key item and not know if the Mist Dragon is in the game. So that's the reason I did that. Love being able to jump over walls here. Just kind of skip on over. Talk to my man Edward, who may have a key item for us. Let's see what he's got. Oh, he does indeed. He has the adamant. So that is not the adamant armor that we were talking about before, but that's actually the adamant key item. If we can find the legend sword, we can bring it to the smith, and once we get access to the underworld, and have him forge a weapon for us. That is one of our tasks for this game. While we're here, we'll just kind of roll down to the dungeons and grab a couple items. Can't get the full. Stardust is an item you can use in battle. Not as valuable to us now that we have such good casters. Dragoon hands, that's nice. Ice armor and an ogre axe. Ogre axe is valuable. Take that instead of this iron armor. Let's see what else we got here. Diamond headpiece. I don't think we're going to need that, but it's probably better than the iron headpiece, so we'll take that. Crystal sword, that is the best weapon in the game for Cecil, with one exception. Put that in place of the iron armor. So getting a lot of good stuff here. I should have cleared out my inventory first. I wanted to do this first, and that was a mistake. Okay, there we go. Thank goodness. So once again, we're going to need to find a shop and see what we can sell, because we are running with a full inventory here. Okay. What can we afford to get rid of here? We get rid of the ogre axe. We can get rid of the blizzard spear. And keep the ice brand. No, I'm not going to keep the Ice Brand. I'm going to get rid of the Ice Brand. Get rid of the Poison Claws. I don't think I'm going to bring Yang on, even if I find him. Also, the Rune Axes as well. I don't foresee myself using those. The Spear can go. Honestly, the Coffin can go. We're not going to use that. The Firebomb, the Charm, the Lunar Staff, even the Life Staff. That's just sale fodder now. Silver Gauntlets can go. Iron Shield can go. Gaia Body can go. Heroin Body can go. Short Swords, the Blizzard. Keep the Avenger. Avenger's a useful piece of tech because it automatically berserks a character, which can be kind of cool. Well, I like to hold on to those. Silver Armor I'm going to get rid of. And what hand pieces can use in Strength? We'll soup him up with the Dragoon Hands instead. That's a much better piece. Alright. There we go. Made a little bit of space. See what else we can do. Alright, so I think we're ready to roll over to Mount Ordeals and turn Cecil into Paladin Cecil, which I probably should have done earlier, honestly. I got a little bit caught up in the Fusoya rush. It'll make this a lot easier. I probably didn't need to go get Kane and all that, but nevertheless, we will bring him along now. So we'll pick up. Oh, a Mass Immune. Hello. That is a top tier weapon for our man Edge, so we'll hook him up with that. That's a great starting. Getting some good weapons here early on. Blitz Whip is not something that I really need, but it'll be good sales fodder. I think I'll sell for a decent amount. What we got up here? Cure 3. Never hurts to have a Cure 3 in a pinch. As you saw, we had to use a Cure 2 earlier in a battle, so I'm happy to have that. And 400 gold. As we reach the top, now we'll have 3 consecutive boss fights up here, so a good opportunity to knock out a couple encounters on our chart. We will start with... Oh no, it's Octomam! Oh, that is bad news for us. That is very sad indeed. Not that he'll give us any trouble here in this battle, but that is our $1 million case, our top prize off the board. That is certainly unfortunate for such an easy fight. Bad luck to get that so early, so sad to see that. But that's how it goes. I mean, as Howie Mandel would tell us, you know, we still have a lot of high dollar amounts on the board. We got the 900 all the way through the 400. All right, we got Life 2, Lightning 1, and Lightning 2 for Fusoya. So I'm going to shuffle a couple things around for him. We'll get Charm and Blink out of there. Life 2 is nice to have. And Lightning 2 is also nice to have. Like that. Okay. So now for this next fight, this is a back attack. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare for that. Flip my boys around so that the people in the front are in the back and the back are in the front. Do a quick save just in case. You never know what we're going to get here. And this can be a dangerous one because the opponents will always get the upper hand. Oh, Millen Z, how funny. So this is the encounter that we would normally face in this spot. So this randomizer chose to not randomize. Or as my son would say, nice randomization. He's weak to fire, so likely he's going to die in one hit to fire 3. We will see. As our little friends here ping him, but I think that's going to blast him hard. Oh yeah. Just like that. So, Milon Z, indicated by the Z on his chest, here's our $30,000 encounter, so get him off the board. We got 28 encounters. We got 8 more before we get our first offer. And let's got a couple more unlocks for Fusoya there. And so now we want to make sure that we switch back. Sometimes I forget to flip my things back. So this will be interesting now. Normally, this is a very easy fight here at the top of Mount Ordeals because in the real game, it's kind of a scripted battle. You're meant to fight with just Cecil. It's not a fight you're actually supposed to win. You're actually supposed to defend 3 times to overcome your evil past or whatever. In this particular mode, there's a new thing that they just added to the randomizer. The hero that you started with, in this case, it is Cecil, will again have to fight this boss by himself. Now, the reason that's different is that normally you go in there with your full 5 in the randomizer version and just whip up on whoever's in there. So it's usually not that hard of a fight, but depending who we get, could be problematic. So let's find out how this goes. Cecil's going to tell those guys to beat it. He's going to go in by himself. Now, the good news is we do have a good sword for Cecil. So we'll get to equip him right away with the crystal sword. So that should give him a leg up. We'll see how it goes here. Ooh, tower key. So our first key item of the game is received. That will be useful later. I like to get the tower key early, so happy to have that. And here we go. Now, the critical moment is who do we have to face in this battle? Let's hope it's not somebody too nasty. Oh, it's Bahamut. All right, I think we can beat Bahamut. I'm not worried about that. So the first thing we need to do, though, is we need to get that crystal sword into his hands. There we go. And now, so Bahamut counts down from 5. If he gets down to 0, he will use Mega Flare. But he does not have that much HP. If I didn't have the crystal or a powerful sword like that, that would have been a lot more dangerous. But thankfully, Cecil was able to make short work of him. So we can mark off Bahamut from our list. Mr. Bahamut is the $700 encounter. So we'll clear him out. So that is good news. Down to 27 bosses, 7 more till our first offer, and we've gotten rid of some good stuff. We did lose the million, but otherwise, I think we're doing a pretty decent job. We should still get a pretty solid offer, and obviously, there's a lot of good numbers still on there. So, we've got what could honestly be our final party. I love Fusoya early game. I might be ready to sub him out later. But Palom, Edge, Kane, Cecil, that's a powerful starting group. We don't have a shield for our boy Cecil. So maybe we'll see. I'm going to give him the bandana as a helmet. I'm going to give him the white body piece as... do I want to give him white? I'll actually probably give him the black belt. We're early in the game here. I'm not that worried about things. I'd rather stack his strength and let him hit harder. I'm not as worried about his defense. We do have a couple other options if we come up upon an encounter that ends up being more difficult than we expect. We can respec into a more defensive position. But right now, this is a powerful early game crew. Like this is a very favorable randomization. It's kind of rare that you get such powerful characters right off the bat. So I think we're going to basically be able to smash anything that comes into our way. So next up, let's go ahead and do the Fabul defense. So Fabul defense is streamlined here as well. Normally you fight a sequence of 5 kind of regular monster encounters in the base game. In the randomizer, of course, that group of encounters is actually randomized as well as a set. And so will we help us? I will help you defend the crystal, my friend. We may not even need those sirens. I mean, we don't need to power this crew up too much. They're pretty strong as it is. So let's see what we get here in our encounter table. Okay, so we've got the battle with the officer and the soldiers. This should be a fairly easy fight. We'll go ahead and eviscerate them with some Fire 3 action. And these guys don't hit. I mean, this is an early encounter. Not really causing me any concern. Fire 3 should roast this guy's turkey. Indeed it did. The virus should take out the other one, and we'll see if Kane can finish off the third. Oh, he didn't even get a chance. Cecil took him down. All right. Well, that was quick and painless. 15 levels for Cecil. When you upgrade Cecil to a paladin, he restarts at level 1. So that's why he gained 15 levels in one fairly inconsequential fight. So that takes care of that. The officer and his guards were the $20,000 encounter. So we'll knock that off. See what the king gives us. The king has given us a moon veil. So that is not a key item that helps us progress. Chest has a star veil. Moon veil and star veil cast wall, another moon veil, on the user, which definitely can be helpful in some fights. That is a way that you can get around Bahamut. Had we not had the damage to defeat Bahamut, we could have tried to use a reflect strategy. So definitely has its uses. We'll zip around here. I don't think I need anything. I don't think I need any sirens for now, so we'll roll. There's a couple other chests up there, but I'll let those lie for now. We're going to zip on over here to the Antlion's Cave, and we're going to do that one next. I don't need to save, actually, because it will hit the save spot while we're down there. Quite a few chests down here to enjoy. Silver. A lot of garbage so far, though. Although, I will use that AU apple again on Paulum, who's still our squishiest member. Ooh, a charm rod. Now that is a nice piece of weaponry for our friend Paulum here. That gives plus 10 wisdom. Very nice. Only the Stardust rod is better from a wisdom perspective in the weapon slot, so that is great for him. Says basically second best weapon he could have. An Excalibur. Excalibur is the third best weapon for Cecil in this particular run. Second best naturally in the game. But we already have the Crystal Sword, which is one of the two that is better. The nice thing about the we got a Murasame. So now we got the Murasame and the Masamune for our boy Edge. So he's powered up. The nice thing about that Excalibur, even though we won't equip it on Cecil, it can still be thrown by Edge, and it's really one of the best things you can throw. All that stuff is garbage. All right, we'll throw down our save just in case, although I don't anticipate any trouble from our boss in the Antlion slot. Hopefully it's not the real Antlion, because the real Antlion is our $900 case. No, I'm sorry, our $900,000 case. What do we got here? We've got Asura. Okay. So we'll pause to update our chart. So Asura is... Where's Asura sitting? Oh, that's a $400,000. So that is not really that great. Lost another big one. So sad to see that. Asura has an annoying gimmick of... Well... At low levels, Asura dies very quickly, clearly. Asura has an annoying gimmick of healing herself. 2 out of every 3 attacks that she does is a massive heal for her. And so later in the game, oh, there's the Magma Key. There's a key item for us. Later in the game, Asura can be kind of pesky to try to stay on top of. You have to use a couple different strategies to keep her from healing herself. In this case, we were able to just brute force through. So the Magma Key, that is our key item that opens our way to the underground. So that was one of 2 or 3 items that really unlocked a gate for us to go ahead and get through here. Push B to jump to get out of here rather quickly. I could use an exit spell as well, but we're just going to roll. So I am happy about that. That really unlocks the whole breadth of the game for us. But meanwhile, there's a couple more things I would like to do while we're here in the overworld, and one of those is got a couple easy boss fights that we can clear out. This helps both Fosuya learn spells and also gives us some more stuff for our deal or no deal-esque challenge. I don't really have a good name for it. I should come up with something. I'm not even gonna, like, these guys are such a joke. I'm not even gonna waste magic on them. They're that embarrassing. The Dark Imps in the game, like in the original game, are a joke encounter in the first place. So they tend to be in the randomizer as well, unless they get... There's certain seas where they can be deadly, but... we've got the Dark Imps. That is the $200 case, so nice to get a small one after losing that 400k. So we get that out of there. Down to 24. Only 4 more bosses, and we'll get our first offer of the day. Fusoya unlocking some more spells. He's getting close to being full power here. We'll check some quick treasures since it doesn't take that long, since we can use the push B to jump. And we got nothing of note. Probably about time to head back to the shop and clear our inventory again. I think we're getting a good feel for the team we have, so there's probably some stuff we've been holding on to that we can get rid of, but how many inventory slots do I have currently? Do I have 4? 1, 2, 3. We'll roll the dice. We'll do one more battle here at the Mist Cave. This is the first boss fight of the game and therefore the easiest. So unless it's like the Wyvern, who can open up with a deadly attack, I don't have much to fear here. Oh, I do have that to fear. That's the Antlion. And there goes our $900,000 case. So my selections did not do me justice this time. The million and the 900,000 are out. Still have 750, still have 600, still have 500. So there's a couple big numbers, but that first offer I don't think is going to be terribly lucrative. That is disappointing. All right, let's see. So all the white magic is in place here for Mr. Fusoya. Black magic, he's missing 3 spells. He's of course missing Nuke, which is like the best spell. He's missing Quake, which is like the best AoE spell. Meteor is better damage, but Meteor takes a million years to cast, so it's not actually as good as it sounds. I don't know what else he's missing. I don't really care to take the time to find out, but so we need at least one more good boss fight to get Fusoya fully topped off. Another crystal sword. That's garbage because the crystal sword, unlike the Excalibur, cannot be thrown by edge, so it's not quite as useful, but it does sell for a pretty penny, so that'll be nice. Dragoon spear. Hello. I'll go ahead and equip that. That is an upgrade, I believe, over to defense. It is not. I take that back. Gosh, I didn't realize defense was so good. Okay, well, another sellable item, I guess. And an earth hammer, which the earth hammer would be a decent weapon for Sid. You can use it in battle to cast the spell Quake. But its power is pretty low, especially when used by Sid, and probably because his stats are low. Alright, so let's get rid of some stuff here. I don't even want this grimoire anymore. I'm not going to use that. Cloth is nothing to me. We're going to still hold on to these because I still might get Rosa in here at some point. Or potentially Reedy, I guess. We'll keep the Gaia drum just to hold on to. Boy. The wizard, we probably don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need those assassins that we bought earlier are done. Ice armor's out. Blitz is out. Big bomb, we don't need that. Fire armor, rod, blizzard, silver, all this stuff can go. Gaia, silver, archer, poison, dragoon, crystal, and earth. All that is down. And look-see daisy, we just got over the 500 K mark. Let's spend it all in one place and get an adamant armor. Who is going to get the adamant armor from me? Choices. I'm going to give it to my man Cecil. I don't know if he'll get to keep it, but he's going to start with it. He's rolling with that. He's got that that crystal sword. That's going to be a powerful combination. Do we have any shields here? Ice shield. I guess it's better than nothing. Get it? Why not? I don't feel like he needs to be a shieldless guy. Oh no. I don't actually know if that was worth the money, but whatever. Okay, we are powered up. We have done most of what we can do in the overworld. We can't do the Dark Elf's Cave. Could do some work in the excuse me, the Tower of Zot because we do have the push B to jump. But we're gonna skip that. We're gonna go to over here to Ebland. Oh, I forgot we could have gone to the Cave of Ebland too because we have push B to jump. Oh well. We're gonna check out the ruined castle of Ebland. There's a couple of trap chests here. So right now we have a setting where the key items have been randomized not only between where you normally get them, but also as rewards from certain mini bosses, being the summon monsters that you fight and the Zeus Gauntlet. Sorry to interrupt myself. I'm gonna snag that for Edge. We'll give that protect to so yeah. Here you go, buddy. But there's one other place that key items can be shuffled into, and that is the various trapped chests in dungeons. And so this particular area has 3 trapped chests, which means 3 potential key item locations. Because we're trying to find all of the bosses for our deal or no deal exercise, we will basically need all the key items, or at least most of them, in order to complete our run of seeing all the bosses. So looking for key items while we're here. We got our first encounter here. It is a Lamia and 2 black cats. Black cats are kind of annoying. If you attack them and don't kill them, they can retaliate with an instant kill attack. And the Lamia, if you don't kill her, can retaliate with a charm attack. She failed the charm, which is nice. We'll let Fusoya use some magic to wipe out the rest of them, and that is a safer way. Sorry for the yawns. It's slightly after midnight here, so it's getting a little late. We won't be able to finish this particular run today, I'm afraid. I wish we could, but it's just getting too late. We got an elixir in the trap chest, so not what we actually needed. Palom has learned Quake now, so that's good. Palom is rocking some useful spells. Fusoya still missing Nuke. We need to get another boss fight for him. So, but as I was saying, we'll probably knock off here in a little bit. But at the very least, I want to finish the overworld monsters. Let's see what we get this time. Okay, we've got some skulls and some stale mans. Or I should say 1 stale man. We'll let Edge deal with the skulls with his fire spell. And we'll let Cecil and Kane deal with the stale man. And Fusoya can chip in by whacking him with his staff or whatever he's using. And no problem there. It's a nice little chance to get some EXP. Now there's a glitch that you can use that I should be trying to train myself to use more for when I do race. Hourglass 1, that's not a key item, unfortunately. But I haven't been very good at it. I always forget, but when you have these multiple enemy fights, you can actually use a life item at the exact right time to gain double EXP from them. I really should try and get myself back into the habit of doing that, as it really can help you out during an actual race, but I never think of it until it's too late. So see if I can remember here before we're done. A lot of pretty useless items here at this point. We're really looking for the trap chest. There should be one more that has 3 ogres in it, and there it is. 3 ogres who have no chance of standing up to my might. Ogres have high magic defense. If we had Nuke, I would probably I could probably nuke one of them down, but the rest of my spells are not going to be very potent against them. It's just a waste of MP, so I'll let Cecil, Kane, and Edge handle them. They obviously have the power at this point to just push right through them. That could be a tough fight with a less potent team, especially since they do have high magic resist. So no key item, but another crystal ring, which, as I have mentioned before, I am a big fan of the crystal ring. We'll give it to Edge. He's already pretty fast, but we'll soup him up. We'll throw that Zeus gauntlet on Cecil, who we're really turning into a powerhouse between the adamant armor and the crystal, and now the Zeus gauntlet, which 10 strength, 10 vitality. Very, very potent stuff for him. So yeah, we found a lot of good items. The chest randomization is on wild, which is the most generous, I would say, of the randomization settings. So I mean, we're looking at a pretty easy run here. Let's see. What do we want to still do before we call it a night here? I'm just kind of looking at my chart over here to see what I might be missing. You know, we could do this. We could go down into the Tower of Babel proper. Maybe we'll do that. That'll be fun. I think this team is powerful enough. So with the push B to jump, you can actually hop the mountains here and hop the water to get early access. Usually need the hook to come down here into the Cave of Eblen. But, oh, and another Charm Rod. I like that. So we're already getting some dividends here. That'll help Fusoya's casting power. This is a little bit of a higher level area, and so we do need to be careful, but there is one trap chest somewhere down here, which could yield us key item. And then this also is another path to the underworld. We have the magma key, so we don't need to take advantage of it, but... Okay, so we got Bahamut here. That's the best summon spell. Unfortunately, we don't have a summoner currently, so... Unfortunate indeed, and haven't seen much from Redia. We're not using these. I think we're just going to go ahead and get rid of them. We just need to cut some stuff loose at some point. Boomerangs, diamond rings, short swords, a lot of stuff that we got in that Eblen Castle is really not very useful to us right now. So we're just going to go ahead and get rid of all that. Free up some space. I will go ahead and rest here, you know, just... I don't think I would run into any trouble with basically anything down here in the trap chests, but we're not in any rush. Might as well take it easy. Better safe than sorry, as they say. We're going to check the weapon and armor shop here. Oh, crystal shield. I'll take a crystal shield. Sir, that's the best in slot shield for Cecil, since he was using that crappy ice shield that we bought earlier. That's certainly an upgrade. And weapons. Ooh, ninja stars. So I'm not going to buy any ninja stars now, but that's good to know. Those are nice to throw. Good throw fodder. But I think we got a couple good things already. So we got to check a couple pots here. We got crystal hands and crystal armor. So both of those are good, but they're not great. The crystal armor is the best defense in the game, but it's pesky. It's only for Cecil. It's pesky that it makes you immune to Berserk, which is actually a very powerful offensive spell. And so I don't really think I'm going to keep that. I've got a lot of good hand pieces already. I think these are going to do better for me as sail fodder as I work towards another adamant armor. I'm about a quarter of the way there. Alright, so we're going to just go through here. There's a ton of treasure chests just laying around. Another crystal armor. Oh my goodness. We're just going to kind of pick up what we can. I'm not really even interested in what's in them. I feel like my gear is pretty much where I want it to be. But I need to find that trap chest somewhere. And it could be any of them. And it isn't any of them. So I kind of went up here for no reason. But that's alright. Sometimes you just gotta keep checking. Ooh, sorcerer body. I think Fusoya's already wearing one. He is, and so is Palm. So another ribbon. So another nice headpiece. I'll actually put that over the bandana. The bandana's nice strength, but that's a much better physical, magical defense. And the ailments, that's just too good to pass up, so. Oh, there's a Bahamut summon as well, so didn't have to pay for that. Got another chest hiding back here, which is normally where the trap chest would be. So we got all the way through. There's one chest left. It's got to be the trapped one, unless I overlooked something. And we have a battle. So, okay, so here we don't get to fight yet, but we can positively identify. That's Vivalis right there. So we're going to go ahead and mark her. She's going to be coming up here as a boss fight in the future. But we know that she's in the game, so we're going to go ahead and mark her. She's the $60,000 case, so get her out of there. We're at 22. 2 more bosses, and we will get our first offer. That is Porum. Porum is a healer, and I am just not really in a position where I feel like she's going to be a real asset to the team. Cool look, though. I like that color, that skin that she's wearing, but we're going to go ahead and dismiss Porum. Sorry, Porum. We have an opportunity now to take her equipment if we want. We'd have to replace her with somebody else if we wanted her to join the team. I don't want any of that equipment. It's all terrible, so I don't want that. And there's our final treasure chest. Here's our monsters. 2 stale mans, who we made short work of in the Eblin castle, so I do not fear them here. Not even a little bit. Come on. We do have some health, I guess, but nothing we can't handle. Gaining some levels as we go. Ninja outfit, we already have that, so that will be an easy sell. And again, not much in the way of key items so far. We've had very little key item luck. So now we're in the Tower of Babel Upper. And we can actually do a little trick here. We can do whoop over the wall and skip some run around. We can't skip over here, so we'll have to check this chest. There's one trap chest in this dungeon, and there it is, right where it would be in the real game. We got 4 mad ogres. They are mad indeed. Again, I don't know that I have the magic power to do damage to him, but let's find out. Let's see if we can get anything out of Quake. And then here I'm going to exemplify why we like Berserk. Berserk speeds your characters up and increases their damage significantly. I think it also lowers the defense. Yeah, Quake 1 point of damage to all 3 of those. Not very useful. But Berserk, Cecil's one-shotting these guys already. So really what we want is for him to take as many turns as possible. And being berserked hopefully will help speed him along. Presumably, there he goes. We lose control over who he gets to target, but it doesn't really matter. You can see, he just took 2 turns before anybody else even got to act. So that's the power of Berserk. Very useful, especially for some of the tougher boss fights. And so that's why the Crystal Armor is kind of a downer, because it doesn't let you cast Berserk on your own characters. It would be more useful for like a caster who you wouldn't want to Berserk, but only Cecil can equip it. So a Tiara is our item. Once again, we failed to get anything of use key item-wise, but that's okay. We will go to our next boss fight, which would be the pre-Vivalis fight. Let's check this chest at least. It's right here. Kamikaze is not very useful. We're going to just do a little zoop-de-zoop right there. Cut some of the run-around time out. Do another quick little jump over here. You can have our final save point here before the bosses. Which again, I do not anticipate any trouble from these bosses whatsoever with this stacked team. Yeah, let's see what's in the chest. Why not, right? 20 gold pieces. That was not worth our time. All right, who do we have? It's the Magus Sisters. Okay, that's not too bad for us. Magus Sisters here is the $7,500 encounter, so Boom, that's gone. So we're down to 21. We have one more before we get our first offer. This fight will not be difficult. You have to take out Cindy first in the middle, as she will restore the other two, but their HP is pretty low. This, in the original game, another scripted fight that you're meant to win automatically. So because of that, the HP here is low, and their damage output is negligible. So whoever you get in this slot is usually no threat whatsoever. And such is the case here. All right, Fusoya's got Nuke. Fusoya's got Quake. We've got to face Vivalis here. And Vivalis can be dangerous. This is a dangerous boss. But we've got Kane. And Kane is a beast and is specifically designed to counter Vivalis. That's from the story of the game, and it translates here too. So without Kane in the party, this can be tough. When she's spinning like that, she uses some nasty abilities. She tends to have high evasion, although that's not too bad. And she also gains some pretty significant magic resistance. Sometimes you can't even land spells on her. We'll see if that's the case today. Or if this, it all depends what slot she's in. Fusoya just got blasted with weak, so that's pretty lame. But he should be okay. Okay, so you see that nuke didn't go off. Because she was in her whirlwind form and her magic defense is that high. So that's unfortunate. Now that we've used Kane to jump on Vivalis, the spinning has stopped, and so the magic can once again be used. So we're going to try and sneak off another nuke here before she goes back into tornado form. And we timed that very poorly. Very poorly indeed. So 2 wasted nukes. That was unfortunate. But Cecil is just pounding on this poor chick. So see if we can get a Quake off. There you go. Nicely done, Palom. And you'll notice Palom's turn's lining up a lot better with the spin. So we're going to let her spin here. Go ahead. Do it. I know you want to do it. There you go. This time we're going to be smart and let Kane land his jump. And this time we're going to nuke her in the face. And that is going to be the end of that. Cecil doing a good job covering my poor 1 HP Fusoya here. So he's actually safe, thanks to Cecil. That should pretty much be done for her. No, she's still alive. I am impressed. No, not by much. Needed edge to finish her off. All right, so that takes care of Vivalis. She's done. We've already marked her off the chart as we saw her earlier. We knew she was in the game, so was here at the $60,000 level, but she is done. Nice chunk of EXP for that. 3 levels for Cecil, 2 for Gage and Kane, 3 for Palom. He's got Warp. Fusoya, we get a little message here saying he's at max power. The reason for that, even though he was technically at max power last time, was if you play with there's an option to play with the Japanese spells in. If you want, you can have Fusoya learn 3 white magic spells that were in the Japanese version that were removed. It's Protect, Shell, and Dispel. But to be perfectly honest, none of those spells is remotely useful in this game, and so it's just 3 extra spells that he doesn't need to learn. So we've taken care of that. We've dropped down here. Oh, I forgot. We have some other business to attend to. So we're actually going to go back up. So we can jump back up to the overworld here using the power of this randomizer. That's something you can't do in the original. But we're going to do, since we have push B to jump on again, we can take another little shortcut here. And so I want to actually save. We won't get an opportunity to save otherwise. We're going to go ahead and use a tent. I want to get some MP back for Soya, since even though 2 of his nukes were fully resisted, he still spent the MP on them, so his MPs kind of got trashed. I'm going to use 1 more tent to get him fully MP. Tents only restore 100 MP. Of course, Fusoya has 190. He was down to 40. at the end of that last fight. So I want to just get him topped off. Okay, thank you very much. And we're going to save here because we're going to go have our 21st boss fight. You'd think I would string you guys along this whole time and go to bed before at least getting one offer? I wouldn't do that to you. We're going to get down to the 20th boss, which is the first offer. And to do that, we're actually going to do something a little sneaky that we can only do with the push B to jump activated, which is we're actually going to jump into a different part of the game. So here we're kind of in the descending the Tower of Babel. If we kind of hop over this little wall here, we can get to an upper floor of the lower Tower of Babel that we're not supposed to get to. You can tell it's kind of messed up because if you go in here, you can't even open this chest. If you go in here, this is normally a save room. Instead, it takes you to one of the treasure rooms from a previous area. You can get that treasure. For some reason, you can open that treasure, but not the other one. I don't understand why. It's weird. You're breaking the game, basically. You're doing things you're not supposed to do. But if you come through here, you actually can come up here and encounter a boss. So we already know Vivalis is there. We defeated her earlier. We're only seeing her because we're playing the game out of order, essentially. But this, our little hooded friend, I believe this could be one of two encounters. This could be either the Fabul Gauntlet, which will be 5 random encounters from this floor, or it could be the Water Hag, and in this case, it is the Watery Hag. The Water Hag is the encounter that was is the actual encounter you can't find in the vanilla version of the randomizer. If you don't randomize the bosses, you can't fight the Water Hag. It's the scripted Edward fight. And again, there's some settings that allow you to automatically defeat him after 3 attacks like you do in the regular game. I have that turned off, so we actually have to kill the Water Hag. However, I do not anticipate that being a problem with the loaded deck we have here. Nuke especially lays waste to enemies like this. Although he survived a nuke, so good on him for that. He's got a little bit more moxie than I was giving him credit for, but 26k EXP, 2 levels. Took care of all that. Got some level ups. We'll get an opportunity for a key item here, but we got the mirror same. But we did get our 20th boss, so that was the Water Hag. Water Hag is sitting in the $100,000 slot here, so he's gone. So now we have finally gotten to our first offer of the game. So we're 15 bosses down, 20 to go. We'll get offers now every 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 2, then 1, then 1 boss hereafter. But our first offer is $16,500. That's what they're offering us off the gate. If you've ever watched Deal or No Deal, you know that they tend to give you more and more as the game goes on. Obviously, based on the number of cases you have left, they kind of lowball you early on, and my formula tries to mimic that to an extent. So, 16.5. It's not a terrible offer. I mean, that would land right around here, which is left side. We did lose our top 2 numbers. That sucks, but we got some big ones in here. I feel like we can do better than 16.5. So I'm going to say no deal to that. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it so that the amount doesn't change as I go. These the amounts here in these deals, which I do not want to reveal, change based on which values remain on the board. So our first offer was 16.5. We said no to the deal to that. Get that out of here. That's probably the only deal we'll see tonight. But we will see. All right, so that's all we can do here. If we try to go back through the normal channels, it just pops us back over here, which is where we came in earlier. You may remember this is where we landed. So you can't go back down the tower, unfortunately. You have to go the way the game forces you to. So we'll come back to the Tower of Babel lower a little bit later on. See what's in this chest just because we can. It's a wizard outfit. We'll sell that later. Good to get stuff to sell since we are trying to save up for adamant armors. And here we come to the Falcon, the second airship, the airship of the lower world. Um, Personal favorite of mine. The two airships in Final Fantasy IV are named after the two great starships from Star Trek and Star Wars. Obviously, the Falcon, a reference to the Millennium Falcon, Millennium Falcon, Millennium, Millennial Falcon, Millennium Falcon, Millennium. Star Wars fans all over the world are killing me. I love Star Wars. I don't know why I can't ever remember if it's Millennial or Millennium. Somebody correct me in the chat. And of course, the other airship is called the Enterprise, a Star Trek reference, and that's why the game is called Free Enterprise, because you get the Enterprise for free. Also, play on words, you're kind of given free Enterprise to run the game as you wish. So that basically takes care of the upper world. There's a couple more things to do in the upper world, but they're locked. They're gated behind key items that we do not have. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to do a couple little cleanup items here. Actually, maybe, yeah, we'll do some quick cleanup here. There's a couple items to pick up here in the Dwarven Castle. We can sell. Ooh, Sylph. That's good to know. I might mark that down. Sylph is a useful summon, although we still don't have Redia, so I don't know how useful it would be. But let's go ahead and clear some stuff out of the old inventory here. We picked up quite a bit of junk on that last run. I don't want any of this stuff. Even the Sorcerer I don't want, because we'll get another one. Bahamut we'll hold on to a little bit longer. We still have a couple opportunities coming up here to get some more characters. You know, if we see Redia, we might be tempted by that. We'll jump around here. There's a couple easy key items, or not key items, sorry, regular items that we can check, just to see if we get anything good. You know, you never know. You might find an adamant armor lurking in one of these chests or something, you know, a top tier weapon, something along those lines. I like the left tower here, or I'm sorry, this is the right tower. You can get a couple quick items. Oh, another protect ring. That was worth coming up for at least. The rest probably wasn't. So let's see. We have a crystal, oh, a Zeus, a Dragoon, and a Protect. I want to say that the Protect is actually better than the Dragoon hand. Indeed it is. You can see it's got better armor, better evasion, better magic defense, better magical evasion, plus 15 vitality, and resists elemental damage. Certainly better than the Dragoon, which that also resists elemental dragons and elemental damage and dragons. But I'll take the Protect ring there. So the rings are pretty much where we want them to be. The Zeus Gauntlet is really potent. The Protect rings are strong. The crystal rings are even better. So basically any hand pieces we can kick to the curb. Any other hand pieces hanging around in here? No, looks like we already sold them. Oh, these ruins. Get rid of those. Strengths, get rid of those. Give me a couple inventory slots back. Let's see here. Weapons. Nothing of note. I mean, the Mass Immune's nice if we didn't already have a Mass Immune and a Mirror Same. Jump over this little dwarf here. So there's some work to be done here in the Dwarven Cave, or the Dwarven Castle, but I think we're going to save that for next time. This seems like a good stopping place. It's 12:30. I do have to work tomorrow. So not a bad start here. We got through the overworld. We got our first offer. It was pretty bad, but you know, we got a couple big numbers here. There's still hope. That's Kenazo in the 750,000. That's Odin in the 600,000, and that's Leviathan in the 500,000. So those are the three we really don't want to run into, at least until later when we can maybe negotiate a better offer. Haven't seen a lot of key items in this game, just the magma key, which was kind of redundant, and the tower key, which we'll use shortly. So there's a lot of key items still to be found. And yeah, that's where we are. This is free enterprise. Like I said, I will put in the YouTube video that will be posted. I'll put a link to their website. If you want to try the randomizer out yourself, you should. It's awesome. If you liked Final Fantasy IV, it's a great way to really get to know Final Fantasy IV in and out. You don't even have to do all this crazy deal or no deal stuff like I do. That's just madness. I'll link a couple the link to that. And Yeah, I think that's about it. Let me put up our focus target contact stuff. If you'd like to give us some feedback about the streams, the podcasts, if you want to check us out, we're happy to hear from you via email, via Twitter, our YouTube. This video will be posted up there on the YouTube site for Focus Target, as well as a number of other streams from the other guys, and as well as all of our podcasts are available on the YouTube site. So, thanks for coming along. I hope you found it somewhat interesting and not too convoluted. Uh, yeah, well, so this was episode 1.1 for Free Enterprise. Look for episode 1.2 Free Enterprise. That will be the subsequent playthrough of this, where we will continue through the underworld and perhaps even to the moon, depending how that goes. Likely we won't get to that tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Avalanche night, Avs Wild. We'll be watching that. That'll probably take us pretty late into the night, but possibly Friday night we'll get around to doing part 2 here at Free Enterprise. So thanks for being with me. This was your host Smiley, and this was Smiley's Retro Gaming Corner. We'll see you next time.